Dani, is there any clear indication of what most businesses plan to do? What will normal look like?
Well, we even heard it there from some of our prior guests. Really, the hybrid model seems to be the one most people are leaning to, but that could also just be an indication of we don't know exactly what things will look like, so why not do a little bit of both? I do have a survey from us from BCG. This was commissioned by Zoom. I just want to point that out because Zoom does benefit from more people at home. But in the survey, they asked businesses throughout the globe, would you consider some sort of flexible working model? Are you going to do that? And you can see for most places, well over half of the businesses surveyed said, yes, we will have some sort of hybrid model. Now, the lowest on the rank here is Japan, followed by the U.S. And at the top end, we have India and the U.K. as well. U.K. hitting 73% of businesses saying that they will have some sort of hybrid model. But the reality, at least for now, is very different than that. And I want to take you into my terminal for this because we can look at data that shows exactly how many workers are in the office. So this is data from Matricus, and they basically install sensors in office buildings to keep track of this sort of thing. So 100 on the map here, on the chart here being everybody from pre-COVID levels is back in. Now, at the moment, we have about 22% of workers in the UK who are back in the office. There has been a very, very slow curve upwards here, hitting the 29th. This is on a week delay, so we don't have this week's data when that blanket stay-at-home order was finally lifted. But the guidance had been, if you can work at home, do so. But even before, when we had some easing restrictions, this figure never got above 50%. We never had half of workers back into the office. So it definitely, at least for now, seems like in the UK, this figure might be depressed for some time.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it, Dani? You mentioned the hybrid models that many are leaning towards. Interesting to think about whether that is intended as an end point or just, as we heard from Microsoft, some kind of messy middle, some kind of transitory phase. Thinking about the banking sector then, and banks especially have been pretty vocal about working from home and the impact that has on their employees. I'm thinking about Goldman Sachs, and we all know what top management thinks about the work from home dynamic. Do they plan on welcoming bankers back to London offices? What's the European angle on this?
Well, we definitely have seen a divide. And of course, what David Solomon is saying will impact London workers as well. And the divide does seem to be one of, as you say, of Goldman saying this isn't good for our employees, especially young employees, for productivity, for mental health. And the other side of things being, hey, we can save money. We can pull back on our real estate occupancy, and that will help us. So one of the things that David Solomon said, he called the remote working, the working from home, an aberration, saying it's something they're going to quickly correct. So as of the 29th, so as of this week, when that blanket stay-at-home order was lifted in the UK, London office workers were welcomed back. We don't have figures on how many of them actually took Goldman up on that offer. Jess Staley, at the same time, he said that he wants people back in the office. He's looking forward to welcoming them back at some time this year. Then we get to the other camp, which I talked about, which is HSBC and Santander. Both of them have talked about flexibility in their annual report in HSBC's case. And Nathan Bostic, the UK CEO, again, more flexible working. HSBC, they are getting rid of some of their leases beyond Canary Wharf in the UK, in London rather. Santander taking up less office space that they already have. Of course, leases take a while to get out of, so this will be a quickly changing picture as we're seeing businesses who are actually able to do that, Anna.